Happy Sunday. Hey, Rosie Bunny, good morning. Oh, Mr. Hannum's joining us. He's over here just chilling. Hey, Valerie. Good morning, Donna. Drinking water this morning, you guys. It's like 80 degrees in my house, and I need to put the... Team Gert, you're right on time this morning. Good morning. It's so hot in my house, but I need help to get the AC into my windows. Hey, Katrina. Hi, Floor. Hey, Shelly. So I'm just... might be a sweaty ball of Kate as you're watching this, but, you know. Ooh, Rosie Bunny, your birthday's coming. Happy early birthday. Hi, Ramona. Hi, Lisa Ray Page and Jessica. Good morning. MJ, Nimzo, Mary, Nadine. How's everybody doing? Norman. Hi. Yeah, he's so relaxed. Hi, Chantel. Good morning. Hi, Saab. Hi, Sharon. Oh. Just showered. All right. So now that we have welcomed, hi, Jane, Carmen, MJ, we're so happy to see you. Hi, Jerry, Gina. Oh, it's so good to see you all this morning. I love that. I know it's a lot to ask, just taking time out of your day, but hopefully you love oh, you're talking about my hair? Oh, the shirt. Oh, my shirt. Thank you. Hi, Renee. Hi, Lorna. All right, today we are discussing the final 2 chapters of this book. There is one part that I actually thought was really crucial that I have not really read this kind of discussion in another book before. So I definitely want to talk about that part because I was like, ooh, it's usually like an awkward conversation, and I was pretty pumped that he dove into it. So I definitely want to talk about that. Okay. Oh, Laverne Warren L. All right. So chapter 8, it was talking about how to maintain and grow your system. So I like what he's talking about. Get honest about why you want more. And I think that we often talk about on this channel the reasons why we want the things that we want. Why are we trying to be so financially responsible? Why do we want more money for what? You know what I mean? What is the reason? What is our why? Is it for our children to have the best life possible? Is it for you to have, whatever it is? What he talks about is he likes to do an exercise called taking it from the clouds to the street. And so he says, when I ask you, why do you want more? The common answers are freedom or security. Those are fine, but I want to challenge you to go deeper. The problem is that high-level, vague visions never motivate as much as we'd hope. True motivation is often real, concrete, on the street. It's something that affects our day-to-day. So let me explain this, and then I want you to share in a second what your on the street reason is. So if you had an extremely specific, if you had to get extremely specific why you want to earn the next $10,000 and had to bring your answer from the clouds to the street, what would you say? What's your street level motivation? You could create some lofty life purpose, or you could take a 10-minute walk and figure out what gets you excited at this exact moment. The answers are often a lot simpler than you think. Your motivation could be taking a taxi to happy hour at 5 p.m. instead of sweating on the train, or paying for a friend to join you on a glamping trip. One of my early street level motivations was being able to order appetizers when I ate out. For this book, my street level motivation is to answer the same questions I get asked every day about money and to tell a few jokes. It's as simple as that. So Why do you want to earn the next 1,000, 1,000, 25,000? Don't give me an answer that's in the clouds. Get brutally honest and bring your answer down to the street. Can anybody give me why? Can you guys give me the street answer? One of mine has been to take my parents, brother, and Kaden out to dinner, not look at the price, and just like treat them and make sure they drinks, appetizers, dinner, desserts, without stressing about it. Like that I have it saved up and I can just spoil them. Like that to me would feel like on the street level, just amazing to be able to treat my parents to an experience like that. Let me take a sec. Rosie Bunny's not sure. Anybody have a thing? Like that's just like almost like a common thing, you know, that you'd really like. Valerie, you'd like that too? I feel like that would be so cool. Independence with someone or not. I want to know I can walk and not be reliant on them. Yes. Mine is financial security. I want to be able to help my children whenever I can when they are in hard times with money. Yeah. Love treating my family to a good meal. This drink says meow chicka meow meow. Nobody's surprised. I like the cat stuff. Because I want to not be sitting here sweating in my house. The wall AC broke and it's going to be around $700 to replace, which I don't have at the moment. Nadine, that's a great one. That absolutely. I think I told you guys this a long time ago. I watched this channel a while ago called Love Meg, and her turning point was their air conditioning had broken their car and they were going somewhere. It was like, you know, the hottest point of the summer, and she looked back in the back seat and both of her kids were asleep, but they had sweat just pouring down their faces and their clothes were wet because it was so hot. And she remembers getting really teary and thinking, I've got to do better. I've got to figure this out. Like, we can't even afford to have air conditioning in the car. My babies are sweating. Like, it was like that feeling of like, I need to do better. Not that your kids sweating is the worst thing in the world, but she was really hoping, you know, in the future they could have some AC. Travel, Lotus Bloom. Financial security sounds good, says Chantel. I'd like to take a family vacation and not worry about the price tag. Heather, heck yeah. Oh, you like my cup, Valerie? Christina, kind of same as yours. I don't want to ever depend on anyone for a sudden emergency. I want other people to be comfortable coming to me for help. Yeah, I would love to be able to help other people. Never have to worry about foreclosure, Jane. That's a good one. To pay mortgage and afford other bills, but not so tight. Yes, Mary. When someone invites me to somewhere, I don't want to worry or think if I have the extra money to go. That's a good one, Jerry. My family now are my furries. I like to go to the vet and make all exams without hesitation because of the cost. MJ, I hear that. Oh my gosh, if anything's wrong with the cats and you think, oh my gosh, if I have to go to the vet, or if it's on the weekend and your cats aren't feeling well, oh my gosh, stress, right? Okay, so we all have a lot of reasons why we want to have money for the things that we really want. The charts and stuff, I'm going to kind of skip over. I kind of want to get to the thing that I was thinking about that I thought was really useful. So, wait, hold on. Make sure I'm not missing what I wanted to get to. Okay. Oh, you know what? I want to talk about one more thing before I... Where'd it go? All right, well, let's just get to the one that I'm thinking about. So he talks about, now in the comments below, hi Abier, are any of you single and in a serious relationship or engaged or, you know, in that stage of life? Is there anyone in this room right now with us that is in that stage of life where you're like looking to build your life with someone, that person's in your life, but you have not gotten married yet, and you're not there yet, but you're working toward it. Is there anybody here, say me, if that's where you're at? Yes, single. Because this chapter 9 is, I think, a very valuable conversation. Living with my partner, soon to be engaged, hopefully. Nope, single, 37 and happy. Magical Kelly, 42 and single and happy. Me, going strong with my boyfriend about 6 years. Single in a serious relationship. Okay, so there's some of you in this situation, and being a married and non-married person, was married and now no longer married, I can reflect and say that this information, this conversation to have with your partner is, in my opinion, incredibly valuable. And I think it's something that people have a very hard time talking about for several reasons. So let me just tell you what he's talking about. He says, I'll never forget the conversation I had with my then girlfriend, now wife, Cass. It was right before Thanksgiving, and we decided it was time to talk about kids, marriage, money, and the big things. I told you I love systems, so true to form, I created an agenda with my talking points. Now that might be like a little bit like, huh? But listen, this is the conversation that I really, really think couples should have before they take the plunge into further in life. I really do. Number of kids, if any, when, names of kids, wedding, where to live, and lifestyle, who works. Both, one, what's the plan? Like, this is a conversation that I don't think many people fully have. I truly don't. I think it's one of those things where it's awkward to talk about, but hopefully if you're with the right person, you can have these conversations. And he actually shares how to have these conversations with people. I'm married, but talked it over before we started to make plans. Awesome. If I meet someone again, he can live in his place and spend as many nights as he'd like, but no. Yeah, I did that. I made a legit list and went down the line discussing topics to talk about. I'll have to, I missed some major topics, right. It's not awkward at all, Chantel. That's good. If you have the right person, I think it's not awkward. There are some people that have a really hard time. Oh, so that, maybe these parts, but what about money? With your partners, do you know how much the other person makes? How much is in their bank account? How many credit cards they have? How much credit card debt they have? Do you know the specifics? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys have access to each other's bank accounts? Can you see exactly how much they have? Is that transparent for you? Chantel, how long have you been married? I think the lifestyle question is great and that it may change with children and to be okay with that. So I have heard, I feel like this sounds like, but this is true. I have heard of couples talking about kids. This literally blows my mind. And the man saying, yeah, we can have kids, but I'm really busy and stuff. If you want to have kids, I'll go along with it, but it's going to be your responsibility. Have you ever heard that before? I have heard people, not me, sweet Lord, but have you ever heard of a friend or anybody saying that? I'm curious. That's insane, right, Jerry? I have heard that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. After being married once, I absolutely refuse to marry someone else if they don't want their don't have their act at least somewhat together with their finances, which is why I'm not remarried. Yes, Nadine. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. We have a joint account and one for each separate. We don't have access to each other's, but we share that info freely. Nice. Oh, Team Gert. Terry, I'm happy with being single and spending my time with my family and friends as I please. Yeah, Terry. You're preaching to the choir. Me. Yes, I know all the finances, but I've been married 19 years. Took forever to get on the same page with money. We did talk about kids and all that beforehand. Deal breaker for me, raise them together or never. Yes, Donna. That's what I'm thinking. Like, if your person says, yeah, I'll go with it, but the responsibility's on you, I don't think that's your person. But I've actually heard it several times. I've heard it several times. And it's messed up. It's really messed up. Yes, Emma. My husband and I are child free, but I would never see shouldering the burden of a child alone in a married relationship ever work out right. No. Single but attached, no plans to remarry. It has its advantages. He's terrible with money. Yeah. Totally messed up. So I guess my point being, be ready to have these conversations. And maybe it's easier for some people than others. Again, if you have the right person, but if you're not comfortable having these conversations with the person, is that a red flag? I don't know. What do you guys think? If you're not comfortable having these conversations, is that a red flag? What do you guys think? 9 years living together, 15 years, all transparent, and no kids was also mentioned before moving in. Yes. I've been single so long, I can't even imagine. Yeah. Me too. I'm actually, can't really imagine it much either. Red flag. Team Gert says red flag. Well, good. I'm glad that people feel, that many of you feel like you can have these conversations, because the child situation is crucial to have, because I've also heard of people getting married. They assume or the woman assumes they're going to have kids. They're getting married, and then they get married and the man is like, or vice versa, could be the other way around, I don't ever want kids. And they never had that conversation. That's a big one. Hey, Andrea, how are you? We're talking about love and money. Such an important conversation to have. Okay, I'm going to switch gears for a second here, because the next part is another thing that I want to just touch base with. It's about student loans, okay? We're going to just switch gears for a second. Maybe we might come back to that other part. But Andrea, we're just talking about student loans. Who in the chat has student loans? Who's got student loans here in the chat? Or who did have them? Heather, you've got some? Chantel, no? What is that noise? Oh. Rosie Bunny, yeah, you don't have anything yet. But Rosie Bunny, I know Valerie, your mama, is going to help you with making good financial decisions. Nova, you've got 60K. Oh, TC, you've got some? Not anymore, Jane, not anymore. I had student loans back in the day, and I think it was like, now that I think about it, I feel like I thought it was a huge amount back in the day, but actually it was like, I think it was like $20,000 that I had to pay. It took me a decade to pay them. Oh, hey, Helter Skelter. Luckily, never had student loans. Was hoping I would discuss. Okay. All right. So they're talking about, should you pay down your student loans or invest? Should you be paying down those loans, or should you invest the money instead? So this is what he says. It can be difficult to hear the drumbeat of invest early when you're scrambling to pay $500 or $1,000 toward the student loans each month. But when it comes down to paying your loans or investing, you really have 3 choices. Number 1, pay the minimum amount monthly on your student loans and invest the rest. Number 2, pay as much as possible toward your student loans, and once they're paid off, start investing. Option number 3, do a hybrid 50-50 approach when you pay half toward your student loans, always paying at least the minimum, and send the other half to your investment accounts. You've got 3 options there. He says technically your decision comes down to interest rate. If your student loan has a super low interest rate of, say, 2%, you'd want to pursue option 1. Pay your student loans off as slowly as possible because you can make an average of 8% by investing in low-cost funds. Oh, Jerry, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about the options right now because I don't have any student loans now, but I did. Okay, so if your interest rate is like 2%, he recommends paying off your student loans slowly so that you can put the rest in investments. However, notice I said technically. That's because money management isn't always rational. Some people aren't comfortable with debt. Many of us aren't comfortable with debt and want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. If having debt keeps you awake at night, follow option 2. Pay it off as soon as possible, but understand that you could be losing some growth potential just so you can be more comfortable. So that's like a personal decision. Then he says, I recommend you take a close look at option 3, and here is why. The interest rate on most student loans these days is similar to what you'd get in the stock market. So frankly, your decision will be a toss up. All things being equal, the money you stand to make by investing in the same amount that you'll pay out in interest on your student loan. So basically it's a wash. It won't really matter whether you pay off your student loan or invest because they're roughly the same return. Except for 2 things, compound interest and tax advantage retirement accounts. When you invest in your 20s and early 30s, you get huge benefits from compound interest. How many times have we talked about this? If you wait until you're older to invest, you'll never be able to catch up on those earnings. Plus, if you're investing in a tax advantage account like the 401k, the Roth IRA, you're getting gains from tax benefits. That's why I would consider a hybrid split, paying off your debt with part of your money and investing the rest. The exact split depends on your risk tolerance. You could choose a 50-50 split to keep things simple, but if you're more aggressive, you'll probably want to invest more. So that's definitely 3 options that he gives you that I think that makes a lot of sense to me. The next part he's talking about living outside of the spreadsheet. And that was part of the reason, you guys. Good morning, Tony. This was actually one of the reasons I wanted to read this book because I think I still very much live in the spreadsheet, if you will. You guys know I check my bank. It doesn't take me a lot of time, but I spend 5 minutes at least every day looking into my bank account and my investment accounts. Like I always do it every morning. You know, that's a routine of mine as I drink my coffee. And that brings me comfort, and I feel like I know I'm on top of stuff. I make sure there's no fraudulent charges. Like, you know, oh, this book has changed your life. See, that's what I'm feeling like. It's helping me realize, like, I don't have to, how do I say this? I can live with not being so focused on the numbers all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? That's an interesting point, living outside of your spreadsheet. So that's, I think, a nice thing that I gathered from this book. Like, you're doing this all for a reason, but once you've got a system in place, you don't have to be so up in the spreadsheet. I don't know if anybody else got that vibe or if it was helpful or not. I look every day also. I make sure nothing is surprise or fraud. Right, Jerry? Like, you just want to look at it and be like, you didn't get a subscription to some magazine or some website that you didn't actually sign up for, because that has happened to me one time years and years ago. And that's when I originally got into the habit. He says, after you know the basics of personal finance, it's easy to live in the spreadsheet. What's harder is knowing how to navigate money with the people around you, your friends, your partner, or your parents. There are infinite situations where love and money play out. Eating out with friends who never tip. Ooh. That would be really... What? Realizing your parents are in debt or combining money with your new partner. I believe mastering love and money is one of the most complex and rewarding parts of a rich life. That's why I want to spend some time talking about how to handle money with the people around you. Sure, there are easy formulas you can use for situations like splitting rent with one partner earns more than the other, but that's just the spending. I believe the real challenges, opportunities lie in the softer discussions. For example, should you tell your friends how much you earn? What about your parents? What's the role of money in getting married? Should you get a prenup? I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you exactly what I've chosen to do and why. He says, now that you've mastered the basics of personal finance, you're going to hear a lot of noise around money, which I think you guys are already familiar with, and you've got to figure out what works best for you. Prenup, let's talk about it. Who wants to talk about prenups briefly? Do you guys think prenuptial agreements are a good idea? Donna, yeah, you've been budgeting so long, it's like a no-brainer. Prenup, yes, yes. When I was younger, I was very naive about this idea. And in fact, I think I watched this. Did you guys used to watch Sex and the City? There was a Sex and the City episode where Charlotte and Trey are gonna get married. A prenup, Chantel, is an agreement. Chantel, I'm actually interested in what your thoughts are on this because you seem to have a really good handle on like finances and like the relationship with your partner. A prenuptial agreement is before you get married, you actually have lawyers sit down and make an agreement. Should the marriage end, who gets what? Before you even tie the knot, before you say I do, it is very clear if anything leads to the end of your marriage, who gets what financially or everything to do like with money. Selena, you remember that episode, right? So when I was younger, I was like, oh, that's so rude of him to like, you know, put that out there for her and have to sign this, you know? Sandra, hey girl. Yes, Charlotte negotiated. She told them, because originally it was like a certain amount if they had boys and a certain amount if you didn't. And she went to the table with Trey's mom and said, I'm worth $1 million. And she got it. And they did get divorced. So thank God for that prenup. Again, that's just a TV show. It's not real life. But I did not have a prenuptial agreement when I got married. It wasn't even on my radar. Both of us had, you know, when we got married, you know, not much. So, you know, I probably would think about it differently later, but I didn't have one. But it's nice to read about it and see if that should be like, you know, I don't know. I don't plan on getting married anytime soon. I'd have to meet a person for that. I would have never considered, but after reading this book, that makes sense to protect what you've worked so hard for. Carmen, I think you're right. And make sure your spouse isn't a narcissist. Team Gert, that is great, great advice. Thank you. We did not do it. Just married, half to him, half to me. So that's what yep. Chantel, you're just keeping it half and half. I think that's the default, right? Like if you get married, it's usually split. Like if you don't have a prenup. But Carmen, I agree. I think this has helped to see the value in it. I think my ex would have pressured me into a bad prenup, so I'm glad we didn't have one. Ooh, Jane. Yeah, a bad one would not be good. I'm pretty certain that people with lots of money or their own personal business or anything proprietary, I think like a lot of people with something to protect, which, I mean, everyone has something to protect. It's definitely worth a look at. He talks about, oh, I'm curious. Should you, there's a little chapter, like little part. Should you tell your parents and friends how much money you have? Or you can tell me who in your life knows how much money you make. Does anybody? Does your partner? Do your parents? Do your friends know? Or do you just zip it? Chantel, but that's based on trust. Only felt comfortable with him, but maybe I turn out to be a fool. I hope that is just your person for life, Chantel, and you never have to worry about it. If you don't have a prenup, I think it varies state to state. Okay. Nope, absolutely not. No. They come asking for loans. No. Partner, loans, zip it. Tony's like, zip it. None. Yeah, only spouse, zip it. I think that if you are the one with the money, you should ensure you can start over. My best friend knows. No, people are too judgmental. No way. Partner, and you should know. No. I'm scared a lot of my exes. Oh, Nimzo, just speaking of narcissists, if anybody knows is anybody familiar with that term? I had a friend who was married to a narcissist. They are no longer married. And it was horrible. Horrible. Horrifying. If you don't know what that is, it's like a person that, well, there's so many things. I should just Google it, but I'm on my phone, so I can't. What do they do? Jerry, can you guys, so I don't want to misspeak, but a narcissist is, in my kind of like understanding, someone that doesn't really feel empathy for other people. Am I correct, you guys? Like they're all about themselves and they can't really, oh, Donna, you're married to one, and your mom? They manipulate and have zero empathy. Yes. They're very manipulative. They do a lot of, what is the word, guys? Gaslighting? Oh, they cheat and say they forced them. Yeah, it's like they're so focused on themselves, they can't really care about others. They can appear to, but they don't really. They're not capable of empathy, and they use people to have emotional processing they desire. That's correct. Oh, did you see my cats? Gaslighting, yes, makes you second guess. So gaslighting is they make it seem like it's something else, and they make you feel like you're crazy, but you're not. It's them. Jane, she says, yep, a prenup with a narcissist would be a disaster. Yes. Guys, ooh, hey, be nice. Was married to a narcissist, did not know what it was for many years. Yes. I feel like narcissists, like the conversation around narcissists is not new. It's not new, but I feel like the conversation has been happening a lot more lately. But people were already in a relationship with narcissists before they knew. And then when you realize it, it's like, what do I do now? Because it's very hard to rationalize with a narcissist. Do you guys agree? Oh, Team Gert, there's someone much better for you. You know that. I know relationships are so hard, but you know that. They are insecure and bring you down with them. Yeah, it's terrible. So if anyone suspects that they are living with a narcissist, I would just Google it and read it. There's some articles on how to better deal with it. I had a friend who was married to a narcissist, and he just made her feel like she was crazy. But it was really just his manipulative ways. And you know, the other person has to take responsibility for their actions, but this is like next level. It's not like the common think you're crazy. It's like they go out of their way to do it. When I was married to, hi, back road money. When I was married to one for 19 years, I had no idea what it was. So it's really a, you know, definitely look into it. If you suspect, if you feel, let's just do a quick PSA. If you feel like with your partner, you are the one that's always doing something wrong, you never say the right thing, everything is always your fault, maybe just Google it. Just for your own self, just check it out. It could be you, but more than likely just check out to make sure you're not being gaslit and you're not being manipulated. Because could it really always be your fault? Could it always be you're the source of the problem? I don't know. Talking money with your, yeah, it is. It's Jerry, now you're like, your wheels are turning, huh? It's not easy to leave. They make you think it's just, yes. Yes, Team Gert, yes. Okay, talking money with your significant other. It goes on to say this, so let me just say a little bit more. He says the big meeting. This is the day when you both lay bare all your finances and work through them together. But remember, it's not really such a dramatic step since you've been slowly working toward this for weeks. It should take about 4 or 5 hours to prepare for this meeting. You'll each want to bring the following: a list of your accounts and the amount in each, a list of debts and what the interest rates are, monthly expenses, your total income, any money that is owed to you, and your long-term and short-term financial goals. Hey, Suzanne. My wife and I did this with our finances. We started with the big picture, how much we earned, how much we'd saved, and over the course of many months, we went deeper into our accounts and our attitudes toward money. It probably won't take you that long to explore. Oh, I love, he talks about the discussions to have if you're looking for a way to discuss it, but you don't want to be like, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say pushy, putting someone on the spot, but you're trying to get at it. You know what I mean? This is what he suggests. Oh, I know it's further around here. La, la, la. Sorry, I should have bookmarked it. Sorry. Why is it so far away from this part of the topic? That's weird. I'm gonna find it. I didn't find it. Can anybody find where he says like, it's like a little bit less? Oh my God, sorry guys. All right, I must have imagined it. Did I imagine this? I lost my tabs. Remember for Atomic Habits, you guys, how many bookmarks I had? Wait, give me one more second, because he talks about like, I like the way he approaches it so it doesn't feel like you're just like crushing them with uncomfortable questions. Well, he talks about if you're doing the prenup and the other person doesn't want to, there's also that. See, I'm into the part where he's talking about negotiating for a salary thing, like for like a raise. All right. Apparently I made this up in my head. Okay. I digress because I can't find it. Okay. So talks about, I just want to reiterate, I think it's really important to talk about before you have children. Are you both going to continue working? Are you comfortable with the child going to daycare? Will one person stay home? And if so, what will be their responsibilities so that nobody feels any resentment either way? You know, I think that's a really important conversation to have. And of course, if you're going to have children at all, how many do you want? Because maybe one wants 1 and one wants 7, and that's definitely a discrepancy in goals. Connie says, hi Connie, the narcissist in my life makes everything about them. No empathy. Yes. Team Gert says, I want to be a single gay dad. Any surrogates, anyone looking for an adopter? I don't know any of at the moment, but Team Gert, you'd be an awesome dad. Having children is like definitely like it's such a personal decision. You know, I have a friend in my life that never had kids, never wanted kids, and I just think it's really important to have, you know, that discussion, because if you want kids, you've got to be aligned with somebody that also wants them, because, you know, your kids' relationships with their parents obviously is like one of the most important relationships they're going to have, and you want your child to feel wanted from both parents. And so when I hear like guys be like, yeah, I'll do it, but you take care of it. I was just watching this show on Amazon Prime. It was like this photographer doing a documentary on people that made a lot of money and lived this really rich lifestyle. And she was documenting it all, you know, and there was this one woman who couldn't get pregnant. They needed to do a surrogate. And the husband said, oh, because they'd been trying. They did in vitro. They did like everything you could to get a child. And they were getting so frustrated. She was infertile. It wasn't happening. And eventually they found a surrogate, but he was so over it by then. He was like, you can do it if you want. I'll, you know, but it's going to be on you. And then the man left her when the baby was 3 months old. Again, that actually is a true story because it was on a documentary, whatever. But I'm like, what's wrong with people? You know what I'm saying? Okay. He also says like you should be planning for your wedding before you're even ready for the wedding, so that it's not like a crazy expense that you can't afford. So he talks about that. Like he was like, I think he is very did you guys get the vibe that he's very proud of his wedding planning, like very proud of it? So he planned way in advance and had what he needed. But that is a good, you know. What do you guys think about weddings? Like, do you guys think that you should spend a ton on a wedding? Do you think you should keep it simple? Do you still want the big princess thing? Like, I wish I had known that my husband was worse with money than I was, but back then I had zero financial skills, so I'm not sure that discussion would have had any impact. Ramona, that's a good point. If you didn't know, absolutely. Or you don't know until you know. And then when you do know, you're like, ooh, man, I wish I'd known this earlier. I say that about my channel all the time. I wish I had known this stuff earlier in life, right? But it's like, we know when we know. Simple. No, buy a house with the party money. Did you guys see that show? It was like either buy a house or get married, like have a dream wedding. Some people think I'm nuts for retiring at 65. It's no one. Why would they think you're nuts for that, Donna? Overpriced. Simple is good for me. Simple and barbecue. Keep the wedding small and simple. Spend on the honeymoon. Totally overpriced. Keep it simple. Spend the money on a house or savings. Nope, keep it simple. I got married in Vegas 2 months ago. Congratulations, Jerry. I always thought who would do it in Vegas, but it was a blast. That's where I went actually for my honeymoon. Isn't that funny? Went to Vegas for my honeymoon, and the best pizza I ever had was called Piccadilly Pizza. Has anybody been there? I can't decipher if Piccadilly Pizza was as good as I thought it was, or because me and Brian had both lost like 20 pounds before the wedding, and then we went nuts. So I don't know if it like just everything tasted better after the wedding. There was Piccadilly Pizza, and like literally right next to it was Krispy Kreme, and we were all in. cleaning to celebrate my Mother's Day, chiming in, daughter's having a big fancy wedding next fall, crazy what she's planning. I bet she's pumped. Congratulations that she's getting married. We eloped in Vegas, then on our 10-year anniversary, when we were more financially stable, we had a vow renewal ceremony party. Cool. Love to go to Vegas. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. I really did. I think it was really fun. It was really fun. I'm remarried. My first wedding had 300 people. Too much for me. I didn't even know most people. Keep it simple. Wow, Jerry. I think the people that get remarried, like, are married to a new person, they have such an insight of like what they would do differently after a first marriage, you know, like you can look back and go, you know what? Like, I know why this didn't work. It's like such good information to use. Oh, Valerie says, same goes for wine. Tastes better with a great memory. Yeah. Wedding should fit the person's desires. Small if you have other priorities, large if that's your dream. I would prefer small, but I had a large one. Yes, I like to think that after being married once, that if I were to get in a relationship in the future, that I would know better. But there's no guaranteeing that, people. All right. All right, moving on from prenup and that kind of stuff. I just want to tell you that I saw this and that negotiating your salary is something that I think everyone should like be aware of if you do not think you are getting paid appropriately. But I actually really I'm just going to tell you the basics of negotiating are very simple. This first one's such a kick in the crotch, but he says, remember that nobody cares about you. But it's true. Listen, like when you're trying to get, like, you don't want to be like, I wouldn't go into my boss and be like, I'm a single parent. That's not going to get you a raise. What does that have to do with the value I bring to the company? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying, right? He says, most new employees come to the table talking about how much they want to make. To be totally honest, as a hiring manager, I really don't care what you want to make. Personally, I'd like to be fed octopus ceviche on command. So what? When you're negotiating, remember this. When it comes to you, your manager cares about two things: how you're going to make him or her look better and how you're going to help the company do well. Right? Negotiating tactic. Always frame your negotiation requests in a way that shows how the company will benefit. Secondly, have another job offer and use it. This is the single most effective thing you can do to increase your salary. When you have another job offer, your potential employers will have a newfound respect for your skills. People like others who are in demand. So he says, interview with multiple companies at once. Be sure to let each company know that when you get another offer, but don't reveal the amount of the exact offer. You're under no obligation to. In the best case, the companies will get into a bidding war and you'll profit while watching two multinational firms rumble over you. I can think of no better way to spend a casual weekday. Come prepared. Don't pick a salary out of thin air. Visit salary.com, payscale.com to get a median amount for the position. Then, if you can, talk to people currently at the company. If you know someone who's recently left, even better. They're more willing to talk to you about the real information and ask what the salary range is and that kind of thing. Have a toolbox for negotiating tricks up your sleeve. Just as in a job interview, you want to have a list of things in your head that you can use to strengthen your negotiation, your skills, what really, makes you bring, what you bring to the table. My husband and I both had nothing when we got married. I had 3 kids, one with special needs. I stayed home full time. My husband always said I worked harder than him. It was our money. 35 years married. Congratulations. Negotiate more than money. This is another good point. Don't forget to discuss whether or not the company offers a bonus, stock options, flexible commuting, or further education, and I'm going to add into that vacation time. You can negotiate vacation and even job title. Be cooperative, not adversarial. If you've gotten to the point of negotiating a salary, the company wants you and you want them. Now you just have to figure out how to make it work. And the last tip he says, well, actually there's 2 more. He says, smile. I'm not joking. This is one of the most effective techniques in negotiation. It's disarming technique to break up the tension and demonstrates that you're a real person. When I was interviewing for college scholarships, I kept getting passed over until I started smiling. And then I started winning a bunch of them. And it says, practice negotiating with multiple friends. This sounds hokey, but it works better than you can imagine. If you can practice out loud, you'll be amazed at how fast you improve. How to save on big ticket items. Talks about buying a car. Talks about buying a house. Oh, by the way, Pajama Drama tomorrow. My video is going to be 5 tips for buying your first house on a budget. I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm almost at a year in this house, and it's like really like anytime I have like an anniversary coming up or like of stuff that happens, or like Kaden's birthday, I always go down memory lane. And so as this year that I've been in the house approaches, like it's really on my mind, and I went back and I flipped through my my playlist talking about when I bought the house. And if you guys are in that stage of life, please go watch that playlist. I feel like it could really be helpful. I was watching and I was just like, oh, I was just like brought back into the moment. It was exciting. Yeah, Garrett, you said don't buy one. Oh, I need my air conditioner so bad. Oh, Jerry, awesome. If you're already in the process, but go ahead and watch those videos. I feel like it's inspiring, I hope. Check it out. Okay. Oh, there's so much. Well, that's actually near the end there. All right. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm telling you, it's 80 something in here. I'm sweating to death. My air conditioner I'm going to put in, I usually have an air conditioner in that window in the summer, but I need help because I'm afraid I'm going to drop it from my second story and destroy it. So either my brother or Kaden's dad's going to help me later today. It's going to be like 86 here. Anything else you want to discuss about the book? Can you guys let me know? Oh, thanks, Chantel. What was the best thing that you learned from this? Like when you think back on the discussions we've had, reading the book, like what was your best takeaway from all the chapters? Like what's your favorite thing that you like talking about from him, or that just made you open your eyes to something? Chantel, you're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, getting central air. You guys know I work for a heating and plumbing company, but I'm not ready for that. I'm fine with the window units. Oh, Carmen, that's exactly why I don't have coffee. I have cold ice water because I'm sweating to death. Okay, your takeaways. My best was automating everything, and Suzanne agrees. Automatic savings investing. Yes, definitely a good one. By the way, just so you know, I did have my 2 cups of coffee earlier. I got up pretty early today. I actually filmed 2 videos before we even got started today. Normally I film them all after, but I actually have 2 done. I just have 1 more for the week. Oh, any other takeaways, guys, that was your favorite thing from the book? Plan and automate. That seems like a big takeaway from this one, definitely. Automate, savings, investing. I totally could have made iced coffee, but I was kind of like done with the caffeine. Yes. I didn't even plan that, Sandra. Negotiate everything. What's the temperature my way? It's good. I just asked Alexa, and she said it's going to be 86 here today. What? It's supposed to rain later in the afternoon, so it'll probably cool it down. But I really want to go for a walk again later in the afternoon, so hopefully I get that in. Okay to spend money on, okay, Nadine, my takeaway is that it's okay to spend money on myself. Long story short, I saved a ton of money. Never spent anything on myself. Got into a bad funk. Blew it all on nothing and nothing good, and here I am now. All right, so Nadine, so you're thinking like, spread it out a little bit more. It's okay to spend some money on yourself, not let it build up and really use it. It's gonna be 90 where you are. Yes, it's muggy. Really hot and humid where you are, Tony. Sweating and have to start all over again, but it's okay. I know I can do it. Nadine, you totally can do it. If you were able to save a bunch of money, now you just gotta do it again, right? Enjoy your life. I work with dementia and Alzheimer's residents now. Team Gert, that must be like really eye-opening, working with people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Phoenix is gonna be 88, and that's a gift. Ramona. I put money I want to spend on myself in my budget here and yes, definitely. Budgeting is very important, Jerry. Yes, for me, it's just motorcycle going by. I don't even know where I would be if I didn't have a budget. It's so important. Conscious spending, yes. Conscious spending plan is what he really pushes. 21 an hour as a CNA, congratulations, that's awesome. All right. Next up, guys, I'm stressing for you guys because this book I really want you to read, and I know some of you are struggling getting a more affordable copy, but the other thing I thought about, what if you go to Amazon and get a used one? There were a ton of used ones for like $11. How about that? I don't know if you need a fresh new book, but it'd almost be like borrowing from the library. On Amazon, oh, so this is the book, right? The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. This is the new book. I do not read the books. I'm here because I enjoy. And that's another thing you guys can do. If you don't want to read, you can just still come hang out and get the benefits of the conversation. But I truly love this book. And now this is going to be funny, okay? Sounds dirty. So this book, I actually did a video on it in 2019. I think I put it in the description if anybody can peek at the description for a preview. Oh, I love the new book. Got mine online for, oh, good. You got your book, Suzanne, you got it yesterday? I love the new book. Got mine online for the library. Yes. Kate method works for me, Chantel. Thank you. If you guys don't know what the Kate method is, just put in Kate method in the YouTube search. I've done several videos on it. I read that one a while ago based on one of your older videos. Carmen, so in the description of this video, I think I linked it before we got on, you can watch that video as like a preview. What happens for me, just like Atomic Habits, just like this one 19, 20, 21 years ago, you kind of like get out of the routine if you don't make it like a full routine. Check out that video. Oh no, I grabbed it, Nadine. She's like, did that just get thrown off from the side? It was sitting up on this ledge because I knew I was going to show it to you in case. Oh, you ordered the book from the half price books for $12. Yay, Sharon. I will go get the free audiobook. Awesome. It's kind of like Oh, thanks guys if you hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Sandra, for the reminder. It reminds me of Atomic Habits in the sense that it's talking about small right actions to get you to your goals. I love it so much. I started reading it again and I'm just like, the KSQUAD needs this book. I really feel like we're gonna have some awesome discussions over it. But watch my video. It's really funny because that is the first video, Carmen, you saw it, the first video that I did when I started committing to doing this channel regularly. It's literally the first one. And I actually partly think that the reason I was motivated to do it is because of the book. So, I'm not saying the slight edge is the reason I have a channel, but consistency is something that I committed to after reading this book. And here we are. I think it's in the link. I think it's down below. I think I put it in the link. Can anybody see it? It says how to get the slight edge. Did I do it? And if not, go in the YouTube search bar when we get out of here and just write Kaden, the slight edge, and it will come up. It's the first one. And it's going to be confusing because I just changed the thumbnail this morning because the old one said productivity tips for 2019. So now you're going to see a new thumbnail that looks like a video I just did recently, but I just wanted to change it up so it didn't say 2019. The title had 2019. I just like refreshed it. So that's going to be confusing. You're like, wait a minute, this was a thumbnail you just used for something else. I like used one of my other pictures from a recent video. And I think it says, get the slight edge maybe. Can anybody see it? Am I delusional? Did I put it in there or not? But if you want a preview of it, like for example, I'm going to give you just one of the examples from the video. When I started reading it, well, maybe I can give you, oh gosh, I could probably give you a couple, but watch the video. But one of the examples was I started doing 10 push-ups a day. And the second example was I started reading 10 pages of a good book per day. And over time, I was getting really stronger with those 10 push-ups. I was reading a ton of books, which obviously we're continuing on with that. Okay, it is in the comments. Thank you guys. I had a lot on my brain before we got started. I'm like, did I put it there? I was trying to make sure you had it. There it is. Okay. Watch that video when we get out of here because it'll be like a preview for it. But I promise, in my mind, it's so worth it. I loved it. Oh, good night, Katrina. It's 12:30. Oh my gosh, you stayed up. Thank you, South Australia. Thank you, Katrina. I'll see you next time. Bye, Team Gert. Yeah, I guess we should wrap this up. But guys, next week is Memorial Day. We have no book club. I try not to do it on holidays, okay? The second thing I want to warn you of, this last book we spread out over 2 months. It worked out, but I don't want to do that again. I want to do it in the month, okay? But the problem is we've got Father's Day again, which I take off to be with my dad. So, and hopefully you guys, you know, I don't know if you help with the man in your life, if there's a dad you're celebrating, but I don't want to like take Mother's Day off and then be like, well, you have to be here for Father's Day. So on my blog, on the KSQUAD Sunday tab, I have put the reading plan for the month, so please check that out. Starting on June the 1st. Oh, Mary, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. That really makes my day. Thank you. The first assignment, if you will be, thank you, Carmen. Mary, thank you for that super chat. Chapters 1 through 6. I'm pretty sure if you guys start reading this, it's going to be like that game Pac-Man. You're just going to eat it up. Or Pac-Woman. You're going to just eat it up. Mrs. Pac-Man. You're just going to eat it up. Bye, Helter Skelter. So chapters 1 through 6 for our first date in June. So the first weekend in June. I hope you guys have an amazing Memorial Day. Check out my blog, katekaden.com, for the specific reading plan, which is over 3 weeks. So it's a little bit longer reading, but I think we're going to be fine. just try to read roughly 10 to 12 pages a day if you can, or however works for you, and we'll get to that. So the first week in June, second week in June, weeks 1 and 2, Father's Day, we're not going to be here, and the fourth one will be the last week of June. I think we're going to love this discussion. Oh, hi, Melissa. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I adore you guys. Bye.